friends. So you have to excuse me, I'm feeling very minimalistic today, so I just put the hair in a bun and everything like that. So I was doing this segment for college students, and I just thought about 7 things that I face when going to college or while in college that I wish I would have done a little more research on and knew more about before I started college or while I was in college. So I'm taking that and making videos about these 7 topics. So this one is going to be on extracurricular activities, and I'm looking down because I have notes and because I don't want to go off on tangents a lot. But extracurricular activities, of course, are very important in your college career, just because for several different reasons, actually. Not only does it look good for, like, if you're going to another school or for a job or something like that after you graduate, but also it looks good. It serves as like a mental break in most cases. So I guess I have like maybe 6 key points that I want to go over, and then I'm going to discuss those a little bit, and then we're going to end this video. But basically, the first thing I would have to say is to choose wisely with your extracurricular activities. Like, it's very, very, very important that you understand that these are things that, like, you should be interested in and you should want to do. Unless you're going to like a professional school like law school or medical school or something like that after, then maybe one of your clubs or one of your organizations should have something to do with health or volunteering or something like that. But other than that, like, choose wisely. Like, take time to do your research or to talk to groups. Don't just go join in groups and just because you like them or you think they're cool or something like that. Just make sure you're doing your research before you like join an organization, because if you just start joining aimlessly like I did my freshman year, I joined like 4 clubs, and it was very overwhelming because I also like volunteered and tried to keep up with my academics and stuff like that. It was just a lot, and I didn't even appreciate the clubs for what they were. I just joined them because they were cool. So make sure you guys are choosing wisely on that. Also, I would say it's beneficial to wait until, I'm not going to give you like a time mark, like this time you need to be joining. No, but I wouldn't say like first semester, freshman year, like don't go joining everything unless you're like solidified and you know for a fact, like maybe you were doing your research before you came to the school, or maybe you're a legacy and you want to join a sorority or a fraternity or something like that. But at the end of the day, don't just go like student organization happy. Don't like just automatically start joining all of these clubs and groups and stuff like that. Give yourself time to get adjusted academically, and then take time after that to research and do the necessary work to get into the organizations that you feel resonates with you the most. And like I said in the other key point, resonates with you the most. With you, not everybody else, with you. So then I would say, if you completely ignored the timing thing, if you overwhelmed yourself and you joined all these organizations and now you're feeling very stressed out and overwhelmed, you're not stuck. Leave the organization. What are you sitting there being unhappy for? Like, school academics make you stressed out all by itself. Like, you don't need, and I'm not trying to make y'all scared or nothing like that, or like keep y'all down in the dumps if y'all are experiencing this, but academics are a load, you know, so you don't want something that you're doing outside of class or outside of homework or outside of studying to weigh you down even more. Like, that's how you get depressed in college, and you don't want to do that. So make sure that you know that you're not stuck, and make sure you do it correctly though, because if you want to leave the organization and maybe another semester you want to join it back, make sure you leave that organization correctly. Make sure you go to the e-board or something like that, and make sure that you're talking to them and you're making them know that, hey, this is too much for me right now. I will get myself together and then come back when I know I can handle all of this. They'll completely understand in most cases, and you're not a bad person because you just didn't stop coming to the meetings and stuff like that. So make sure you do that appropriately, because that can backlash if you want to join the organization. Or let's just say you put that on your resume and they reach out. Like, they probably won't, but you put that on your resume at one point in your job or your school after you graduate. Ask about them, ask about you or something. They might be like, we don't even know who that is. Or, oh, that girl that kept, like, stopped coming, or that guy that showed up to 2 meetings and then stopped coming. You know, like, you want to make sure you build a rapport and do things correctly. That's mostly what college is about. Just learning how to be an adult and handle business correctly. And then that brings me to another point, which doesn't contradict the last point. However, it does have some type of contradicting. I don't know. So basically you want to, if you're going to like professional school afterwards, I know this for a fact with law school and medical school, like if you want to do that after you graduate, make sure that you are consistent with your extracurricular activities. When I'm talking about medical school, I'm not sure on law school because I'm going to medical school, so I've done the research. However, when they look at your resume, when they look at your academic transcript and stuff like that from like undergrad years, they don't sit there and like say, oh, she joined 8 organizations, oh my God. And then she volunteered on the side and she worked and he did this and he did that. No, they're going to look at it and be like, okay, she joined 2 organizations, but she stayed in those organizations the whole time. And her junior year, she got promoted to president or treasurer or, you know, like, so make sure you're, along with building a rapport with your organization, make sure that you are consistent with them. I'm not saying like join freshman year and stay the whole time, but once you join, make sure you're joining for the right reasons so that you're able to stay in that organization until the end of your undergrad career. And that even if you're going and getting a job after school, that still looks good, because when companies hire you, they're going to look for consistency. They're not just going to hire you and be like, okay, this one might drop or this one might quit or something like that. They want to look at you and say, hey, they're going to stick in for the long haul and we got this one. Like, you know, he's going to do this or he's going to do that or something like that. So just make sure you're being very consistent with your organizations and your extracurricular activities, and that includes like volunteering outside, that includes like whatever else you have going on in your life as far as like hobbies and stuff like that. Just make sure you are consistent with them, and that means taking the time, doing your research and joining them and doing them at the appropriate time so that you're able to stay. And then last would be, my last key point would be, make sure you have time. And this doesn't really fit. I can really just make a video off of this, but honestly, it'll be like a 4-minute video or a 2-minute video. But make sure you have a mental break. Like I talked about this earlier in the video. I want you to make sure that, like I said before, if you are going to like another school afterwards or trying to get a specific job after school, maybe those extracurricular activities need to align with that path. However, make sure that when you're spending your time, your free time doing stuff, make sure you have a mental break in between those things that you have to do, because I'm pretty sure you know the importance of like a mental break. Like, or if you don't, I'm not trying to come at y'all. A mental break is just going to be there, like when things get really stressful, you're able to take that maybe hour a day, take that 30 minutes a day, and really think about what's going on, plan your life a little bit, make sure your mind is centered on why you're doing things and what you're doing and stuff like that, so then you can go on and attack those grades or attack those extracurricular activities that don't really set your mind free or liberate your mind. So if you leave this video with anything, it is to choose your extracurricular activities wisely. Make sure your timing is correct. You aren't stuck if you're overwhelmed. Try to stay as consistent as possible. And then make sure you have a mental break. Just take a mental break. So, yeah, that's all I have on extracurricular activities. I'm going to try to get all of these videos up, or at least record it today. So I'm going to have the same thing on and doing the same thing. But I'm going to try to get the rest of the series up so you guys don't have to wait, or I can just not worry about that and move on to something else. Like I said in the beginning of this video, hopefully I said it, my name is Tisha Janelle, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I really want to know, or email me. I really want to know the things that and the challenges you guys are facing, and I really want to know how I can help and what I can research to help you guys out.